Hello FlossTube friends, welcome to my channel. I'm getting my coffee fix. I've been really hooked on McDonald's iced coffees lately. I used to drink these all the time when I worked night shift at the mental hospital. And then I got away from them, but here they are again. So I'm late on my FlossTube update for another month, but I've been picking up a lot of shifts because of Christmas and getting the extra cash to get presents done, and you have to do it all in the beginning of the month. You know, by the end of the month it's too late. So anyway, I'm here now. I'd wanted to do a whip parade and talk about what my plans are for next year. I wanted to set out goals for myself, but I think I'll do that nearing the end of the month. I'll do another video and talk about all that stuff because I'm going to be stitching through this month, so I want to kind of incorporate all those things based on after the stitching I do this month. I'm sorry I'm dressed up like a Eskimo. I am cold all the time in the winter. I had gastric sleeve surgery almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in July. I mean, in January. 2 years in January. And one of the side effects is I'm just cold all the time. I lost I lost 115 pounds. I gained a little bit of that back. But I'm still over 100-pound weight loss. And you lose all your fat. You know, so I just have never recovered from that. My hands even now are like little ice cubes. The other problem I have is my hair is so thin. It's just hardly even there. It's actually gotten better. I put it up in ponytails all the time because it really is so, especially now, it's so staticky. It just sticks straight up like a big one of those science experiments where your hair sticks up when you touch the electrostatic ball. But anyway, I think it's getting better. It all started with breastfeeding around 3 months. When my son was around 3 months of age, it just started falling out to the point that there was big patches of hair just all thinned out. And even now, there's not much there. All my hair fell out. But I'd rather breastfeed him than have my hair. That was my personal decision. But I think it's a result of having the gastric sleeve surgery and not getting enough nutrient-dense foods. Totally my fault. I'm not eating the right things. Still eating just carb stuff and not enough protein. And this is the result of it. My hair fell out. So anyway, I'm going on a tangent. You're here for the cross stitch. So I'm going to try not to talk too much about my problems. But I'm sure some things are interesting. I don't know. I had thought about doing a stitch along. I actually tried to do a live stream through Streamlabs, and I couldn't get it to work on my phone. So that was a bust. But I was thinking about doing a stitch along and just talking about, I don't know. I don't think talking about myself is as interesting as maybe talking about my career. I think it'd be interesting to hear, some people to hear what it's like to be in hospice, or maybe what it was like to work in a mental hospital. I have some crazy psych stories from when I worked in the mental hospital. So I thought I could talk about that stuff while I stitched, but I'll try not to ramble on too much here. So I'm only going to show you what I've been able to work on in November and this first part of December. And then maybe later in this month, I'll do a whole whip parade. I am participating in the No New Starts 2021 group. Yeah, that's the word. So that is closing the 13th, and barring any last minute crazy decisions, I don't think I'm going to start anything else. I think I have everything. I have my folder uploaded already with all the projects I'm working on. I've had 2 finishes in November, so I'll have to remove those from my list. But even with that, I did 5 new starts. So I don't think I need any more to carry me through the year 2021. Plus, I get 1 freebie. They said for your birthday or whatnot. My birthday's in September, so by then I'm sure I'll be desperate to start something new. And I might have some things finished by then. So I don't know. We'll see what the goals are. But so I'll show you what my new starts are. I'll show you what my finishes are. I'll get out to all that. So I'll start with my projects. First of all, like I always like to do, is start with my lovely peacock from Linen and Threads. They're free stitch along from 2019. So like all things, when you go out and you see someone wearing the same outfit as you, usually, at least for me, I think they look better. And I was watching FlossTubes and I found someone making the same stitch along as me, and I like hers a lot better than mine, sadly. But I'm going to stick to my plan. In hers, she did the whole thing in one color. It was dark blue. And then just the frill of the peacock was a different color. But everything else in the whole thing, she's a lot further along than me. And everything else was one color. I had decided to do a series of blues with only a little silver embellishment on the peacock, nowhere else on the whole thing. But the rest of it being in a different series of shades of blue. So we'll see how it turns out. But I finished the main body of the peacock. Now I just have to do the silver little sparkles around the edges of the feathers, which I'm going to do in December. That's my goal for this one. And then I'll be done with the first month installment of the stitch along from January of 2019. So that'll finish January. Then in the February, it's the borders of all the other pieces. So I'll be filling this whole thing in next with bordering for the February month. So that'll be my next thing. And that'll probably all be in this darker shade of blue. And then some of the little creatures in all the different boxes might be in some lighter shades. But I don't think I'm going to expand past these 4 shades of blue. And I'm not using silver anywhere else. So I don't think it'll be too busy. But we'll see. I worry that I'm not a good visionary with these things. But hopefully it'll turn out okay. We'll see. Anyway, so that's that one. I haven't done anything for December for that one yet. Usually that's the first project I start on, but I've been working on all these new starts that I haven't done anything with that one yet. And I'm trying to save all my starts and stuff for last, and my finishes. Okay, so the next one I want to show you, put these down here, excuse me. Okay, is day and night, I think it's called. Let me double check. Yeah, Day and Night from Long Dog Samplers. So here's the cover page. Absolutely love this one. I just love the pop of color. Samplers are really cool because you can sit down and say, you know what, today I'm going to work on this bush. And that's all I'm going to do. And you do it. And you get it done. And it's accomplished. And it's almost like, samplers are almost like a big page of mini projects, you know, and you're doing every little mini project and you're just putting them all together and then it becomes one big project, which I think is pretty cool. I do like my full coverage pieces, but I also like doing samplers depending on the mood. So anyway, this is where I'm at. So last month I did the trees and a little dog. I added the roof here a little bit and a little bit of this silo, and then this I all added. So let me just show you that. Yeah. There. I'm trying to find the best place that's in focus. But anyway, I just think it's cool. Now, obviously the house isn't done. I was missing a color. The color that goes in between all the black. And I'm doing 2/1 with this. And I'm wondering if I'm going to lose some of the detail by making it so dense. So I'll know pretty soon once I finish that house, because of how the black is kind of like overpowering. I don't know how well it's going to show up. So I might have to go back and frog it and do it as 1/1. But I like the thick, chunky look of the 2/1. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I have did my Legend of Zelda. I'm really hoping to finish this one next year. I'm almost 40% done. It's a smaller piece as far as my full coverages go. Some of my full coverages are insanely huge. Like Heaven and Earth Design huge, even though I don't have any head projects right now, or ever. I've never done one. So that's a bucket list item. But anyway, here's my Legend of Zelda. So last time I was working in here on the hair, I did a lot more with that. Added a bunch of greens and darker shades. And then I kind of went black crazy. So I was doing some outline work with the black all around there. So this month I'm going to do more with the hair and the face. I just want to try to get this filled in. Keep working on this. And then up in here, I'm trying to work my way over and then work my way down, but I keep getting distracted. So we'll see how that goes. As it always is. My Don't Starve Together, I did very little work on this. I think I maybe did 300 or 400 stitches. All working in the face. So the face is kind of coming together more. Did a lot of reds and shading around the eyes, the eyebrows. Did a lot with that. I also did some work down here. I just got 918, which is a huge color in this one, and I didn't have it, so I've been doing a lot of work with 918. I'll probably do more. This is a lot of this is 918. I did a little bit of black up here because I was using up a floss. I kicked one of my floss, the whole thing. Like I wanted to use it all up because I only had a little bit left, and I didn't want to keep all these straggly pieces. So what better place than the Don't Starve Together to work on using up my black, because this extends down here. This is all black. So that's one of those days when you don't feel like thinking and you just want to make X's on a page or on a canvas. This is where I go. I go here and fill in black. But anyway, so I really want to do her face. I've been working up in here too a little, but I want to make sure that it looks good, because there's some there's lines, sketch lines in the original drawing that aren't going to be transferring over to the cross stitch. And that's a huge part of the artistic element of the game and the art design. So I want to make sure to still capture that Don't Starve feel. You think I should have done that first, but I don't know. I like starting in the corner and working my way over. So I got to that point, but I really want to focus on just completely filling in her face and making sure that I'm happy with it, and deciding if I want to do any back stitching with it. This is a pick to pat pattern, so they don't do back stitching on that, and I'm not sure if it's going to look quite right without it. So we're going to kind of play with that. I'm going to finish it up, see how it looks, see if I need to add anything before I move on to the rest of the piece, just because I don't want to finish it if I can't be fully satisfied with the end result. If I'm not going to be happy with it, then why do the whole thing, like go through all this and then finish this and realize it's not going to work for me. So I want to do the face and focus on the face as much as I can, but I keep getting distracted because I see these big chunks with one pattern, you know, all yellowed on my pattern keeper, and I think, oh, well, I'll just fill that in while I'm at it, and then I go on a tangent. Okay, had to go on a hiatus. Got a phone call from work asking me to work. I work every day, almost, because I keep saying yes. But it's Christmas, you know, and my kid wants a Switch, and that's just one, and I have 4, so I work. But anyway, now back to the thing I love, my play. Okay, so Don't Starve, finish with that. Now, Bedtime Stories. I have 3 large full coverage pieces, 2 that I've shown already, and 1 that I just started this month. And I love doing full coverage. I love seeing it kind of play across the map, but I don't do parking. I think it looks complicated. I'm sure it's not, but it looks complicated. I don't do it. So I try to section off as much as I can, and I was able to finish pretty sure I finished a whole page on this Bedtime Stories. So this is where we're at, and I know it's just a bunch of brown. You can kind of see it if I catch it in the light. Where so there's some roots up here, and then this is like a dark reddish brown curtain on the side there. So there's a lot of dark shading in the corner I'm working on, but it's going to spread out and open up into some more colors, but it's all very muted because they're underground in their little hole, their little mouse hole. So it's not one that is a bunch of bright fun colors like my Long Dog sampler, and that's fine. You know, I reach for different things for different reasons, but so this is what I did so far, and this is a full page finish right here. So yay. I'm working on page 2. That's what this one is, and then so I'm trying to stick to page by page. I'm hoping to go all the way over to the end with each page so I can finish the whole top. And if you notice, I kind of do things differently with each project. Keeps it interesting. But that's where we're at with Bedtime Stories. And then I also did some work on the creation of Adam, my Michelangelo, which is the largest project that I have. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 122,000 stitches or more. I mean, over 122,000 stitches. I think I got to I know I got past 1%. It might be at 1.5% completed at this point. And I'm going to have all this written down when I do my whip parade so that I can say where I'm at and where my goals are for next year. But there's a lot of 926 and 927. So I'm tempted to just fill those colors in because they stretch across the whole thing. But this is where we're at so far. This whole thing is going to be filled in. This is all part of it, but this is where we're at for now. And the 926 and 927 go like this, And right in the middle of it is where the ET phone home is. So I had thought about just putting that all in there, going rogue and not doing it square by square. But I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because then things get, especially with, I don't have this gridded. I tried gridding it and I messed up the grid. So I don't know. I missed the gridding. When I got this, I couldn't find any Lugana gridded, the easy grid. When I started this project, I just couldn't find it anywhere online. It was all sold out. So I thought, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'll just, like the cool kids do. But I messed it up. So now I'm afraid to do that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So maybe it's not a good idea to go rogue like that when I don't even know. I'm afraid I'll mess it up, and then I have to compensate or rip things out. And sometimes I don't even know where the mistake is. And you're just staring at it listlessly thinking where to begin. And that's a metaphor for life right there. But anyway, that is a creation of Adam. When I finish that, it's going to go in my bathroom downstairs. So all my guests, when they come and they got to use the John, and they're the men at least standing, weeing, they look up and they see the beginning of life. Well, it's not the beginning. It's like the sixth day. I really need to brush up on my Bible. But anyway, all right. I'm going to step off screen for a second. Everything I have is on the floor. I'm sorry if I brush against my mic. Okay. Starts or finishes? I think I'll do my finishes. And then I'll do my starts. So those were all my whips. The things, excuse me, that I worked on in November. So now I'm going to show you the things I have finished in November. First of all is my stitch along Hello Dear from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Whenever I got the new installment, it always came in the middle of the night, and I am a late night stitcher. Sometimes I'm up till 3 a.m. hanging out with the hubby stitching. And so I always get really pumped when it comes out, because it always came out around midnight my time. And I'd be like, yeah, get the head start. And I just would plow through it. So I just gobbled this one up. So I finished it rather quickly. Not as quick as I think some people just sit and do the whole thing in one sitting, and I was not that person. But anyway, and it needs ironed. Don't judge. But here we are. Here's my finished Hello Dear. Isn't that adorable? Hello Dear. So this is their winter-themed tree. So it's kind of Christmassy, but not 100%. So it can easily be displayed throughout the winter. And I think I mentioned before, I think they're doing a tree for every season. They already have Hello Pumpkin, which is the fall one, and then they're going to make a spring and summer one, which may end up being my one start. But sadly, I'm not going to do it as a stitch along, I don't think, depending on the timing. Maybe, I don't know, but that'll be my one. If they release one this year, I will definitely want that to be my one start, new start for the year. So this is finished. I'm going to get this framed and hopefully find some matching frames so that I can swap out the seasons as they change. So I'll show it to you again once it's framed. That is my one finish. And my other finish sorry, I'll put this back in here. Okay. My other finish is my Blackbird Designs Clara Ellen piece. This is my first sampler that I've ever done. All of this is kind of new, and I was going to talk about that during my whip parade, but I've only been cross-stitching for a little over a year, maybe a year and a half. So this is a new experience, and there's a lot of new things, like first times for me, and this was my first sampler. So I got this right before we went on a road trip, and I started working on it in the car during the road trip, and I just loved it. Fell in love with doing samplers at that point, because before that I was just doing full coverage pieces, and it was so rewarding to do. So I really enjoyed working on this. But this was for my brother as a housewarming gift. I did a lot of alterations to the original piece to fit his name and how I wanted it to look. But here is the finished product. I kept it on here so we could, have it all kind of stretched out nicely. So I had the house number for his house because they just moved in this January of this year. So I put established 2020 and the house number, their name. I added a little bit of stuff where there wasn't stuff. Oh, and my initials. Be so vain to add my initials. But I wanted to make sure that there weren't any big open spaces. So it does look a little different if you put them side by side. To the original, it's wider, as you can see. But for the most part, I tried to stay true to the original. Because I like the design, so I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm going to get this framed as soon as possible. Now that I finally did this video, I'm going to get this framed and in the mail for them for Christmas, because they live in another state, so I have to get it shipped over to them. So those are my finishes. Now, start time. My starts. As I mentioned with Hello Dear, there is another tree called Hello Pumpkin, and I got the design for Hello Pumpkin. Now with everything for No New Start 2021, if you've seen anyone's floss tubes that are doing it, then you know the big rule is you have to have 200 stitches on any project going into 2021 for it to be a contender on that, on your list of works. It is so important to me to be in compliance with all these rules, because there's a ton of raffle prizes and I love winning things. So I would hate to mess up and not do the rules properly and be disqualified. So I'm really focused on getting this right. And there's a lot of rules. It's like 7 pages of rules and guidelines for this event, but it's cool. I'm excited to work through it. But anyway, I got my over 200 stitches, just to be absolutely sure. So here I am with Hello Pumpkin. I'm working on this adorable owl. This is a branch, but I didn't have either color of the leaves on it, so I just did the branch to start, because I want to get the middle, start in the middle. So that's around the middle there, and then I work down, and then I start working on the owl. So that is where I am with that cute owl. I don't know if I'll work on this in December at all. I'm really into doing my full coverage pieces right now, so I might not do. I did what I needed to do to get this to qualify for January, so we'll see. I don't want to restrict myself to have to work on everything all the time, so I'm trying to just work on what I want to, so it's not so much. It never feels like a chore, but I don't want it to ever feel like a chore. You know what I mean? So I don't want to make any plans. I'm also doing an ornament collection for my coworkers for next year. I like to give everyone a little gift this year I'm making them crock pot candy, which is pretty cool. I might do a video about that and share the recipe because it's a really easy chocolates that you can make in a crock pot and then dull them out onto parchment paper, and they harden and dry, and then you stick them in a little tin, and it's a really easy, cheap gift, and then they're tasty. Anyway, so I'm doing that this year for their gifts, but next year I was thinking about doing little personalized ornaments for each one of them. And I got this set on Etsy, which I don't have the name of right now. I'll put it in the description because I don't remember the name of it. But anyway, there's 10 unique animals. I like folk art, and they kind of remind me of that. They're really cute in the sense that they're quirky. I like ugly, cute things. Not to say they're ugly, but I just like things that are obscure looking. I don't know how to explain it except that my dog's a Boston Terrier. So anyway, but I just started on the bear on the set, and I was only focusing on doing 200 stitches again. I'm doing 1/1 on 28 count, and this is all I've done so far. So it's just very small. I might add to this just to be absolutely sure that they don't question the fact that I have 200 stitches. So I might finish the legs and body of the bear, and then I'll do more with it. I want to do an ornament a month, starting in January. So I only need 10, so I'll get done in October or November, hopefully, to have them all ready for Christmas. So I'm going to start in January, but I want to get as much done this month as I can to ensure that they know that this is more than 200 stitches. So I will be working on that a little bit more this month. So that was another start. And then I have Captain Ratbeard, which I'm super excited about. This is another work by Chris Dunn. Like he did Bedtime Stories. And I really like these animal personifications. I like his art style. And when I found Captain Ratbeard, I just fell in love with it. The flow and motion and action of the image is just so cool to me. So I was so excited when I decided I'm going for it. It's another huge project, but I'm going for it. And actually, I was working on it the past couple days, and it looked a lot like, for the longest time, it looked like the Michelangelo. So last night I had to add a little darkness to it to make it its own. But this is where I'm at with Captain Ratbeard. It's the spray of the ocean and the start of the ship. So it doesn't look so much like the sister of the creation of Adam anymore. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm trying to focus on finishing a page. The page I think cuts down to here and over. I'm just shy of 1,000 stitches at this point. I remember seeing that when I was working on it last night. So yeah, I'm really into, I can't wait to start stitching him. He's so epically awesome looking. But anyway, that's where we are with that piece. And then I have two more starts, but actually the one I haven't started yet. The last actual start I've done is another Long Dog sampler called Quilts. If you see this, I'm making this for my mom. My mom is a very crafty lady, and quilts are her craft. I suck at quilts, but she's very, very talented at making quilts. She machine stitches them with such great detail. It's pretty impressive. We have a shop. I opened a shop on Etsy called Fern Cottage Quilts. So I invite you to go over and check it out and like her projects and show her some love. She's retired and does this as a hobby, but I think it's nice to show her that she is appreciated for her talent. Because right now everything's kind of just sitting in boxes at her house, and she hates to part with them. So I charge a high price for them because they're special to her. She put a lot of effort into them, but so I'm not asking you to go buy a bunch of quilts for me, but just go like some images and show her some love. But anyway, I digress. The whole reason I'm bringing that up is because I want to do good by this piece. Like, I don't want the back. If I can get my Zelda. Sorry, I'm going off screen again. Okay. I don't want the back to look like this because she's a fellow crafter artist, you know what I mean? So I want it to be polished. I want this to be my cleanest piece. So I just started it last night. I wanted to get my 200. I got my 200 stitches in. But it's important to me to make sure the back is as good as the front, or try to make sure the back is as good as the front. So here's where I'm at with it. Here's the front. And then here's the back. So I know it's not beautiful. I know people can do better by it, but I don't want like a bunch of loose threads. I don't want a bunch of traveling, or whatever you call that. I forget what they call that, where you jump around with the stitch. I want to keep it contained and tight so that the back looks nice and crisp like the front. And no mistakes. Like, I frogged this whole thing because the one bottom stitch was over 1. Because I'm doing 2 on 2 and it was over 1 stitch. And I tore it all out and redid it. No mistakes. This must be perfect and pristine because it's from my mom. So, okay. Hoping to get that done in 2021, but we'll see. And then my last thing is this thing. A lot of people have been working on this. I've seen it and I keep looking at it. I keep returning to looking at it on Etsy and on YouTube. And I looked at the Scarlet Letter, the company that makes this, and I think it's so cool that they use these, they do these period pieces, these old period pieces. I just think it's freaking awesome. And there's a bunch of them that kind of have this style of design, but this is the biggest one. But I thought if I do this one and I like it, I'm going to go back and get the smaller ones and get them all done and put them in my dining room. It would be, my dining room is very dated, not in a bad way, but it's definitely like, has a lot of woodwork, pillars, these wood pillars, and it needs older stuff to make it really shine and stand out. And this is just perfect. So I didn't get the fabric for it yet, but this, I got the book, and this book is beautiful. Scarlet Letter does these amazing, like, detailed, colored books. I never had any, like Log Dog Sampler, they're printed pages. Like, but this is a book, and it's just so cool. But, and they show some of the detail work on the back. Look at this. Isn't that so cool? I love this book. Just looking at the book, I was like, smelling it. Does anyone else smell books? New books and things? I do. Anyway. So I'm so excited. Look at all the detail work though of this. It is cool. I'm doing it 2/1 for 25 count because that's my favorite. That's what I have all my big projects on. 2/1 25 count. I just like 25 count. That's the thing. It's small enough that it's compacting the project, but it's big enough that I don't go blind looking at it. So, yeah, I'm really excited to dig into this. And I just want to do like little bits and pieces. Like today I want to say, oh, I'm going to stitch a swan. And then I spend the day stitching my swan. That's the beauty of samplers. So this is a full coverage sampler. I never had. I don't have anything else like it. But you notice it's full coverage, but it's also a sampler. And I like that about it. The other pieces that kind of look like this are not full coverage. This is the only one that's full coverage. But there's other pieces that have this like this weird unicorn with its vacant hollow stare, are on other pieces from the Scarlet Letter. So I will be procuring more once I get some other stuff completed. So anyway, that's it for December, the start of December. I'm going to do another video near the end. But I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.